if you have economies that are failing. Ironically, if you are concerned about immigration and mass migration, it's really a good investment to make countries work so that people can eat. Because then it's not like they're dying to get on a dinghy and float across an ocean if the country where they were born and they loved was functioning. So thinking about ways in which we describe this both as an economic imperative, a environmental imperative, a security imperative, the more we can influence public opinion, the more you'll see politicians respond. That doesn't mean that there is not an enormous role to play for NGOs, philanthropy, and so forth. But, and I've said this to both Bill and Melinda, even with the incredible generosity and enormous skill with which they've deployed their resources over the years, the U.S. budget's still bigger.
Absolutely. A lot bigger.
And
a lot.
You know, this notion that I hear sometimes from young people, that you can work around government and work around politics because it's too messy or it's corrupt or it's, I just don't like those folks or what have you. I'm sorry, guys, that's not going to work. If you want to get done what you're talking about, you will have to combine effective philanthropy and technical know-how and smart policy engineering with getting your hands dirty, trying to change public opinion and trying to ensure that the people who are in charge of the levers of power are responsive. And that will require work, and I guarantee you will be disappointed at points. But what a glorious thing it is to be responsible for saving the world. That's your responsibility. And Arn, thanks.
I left trusting that there was indeed a plan for my life to change the world. But first, I had to change my world, and that required me to change my definition of success. I left that day with a new game plan, a new definition of success in life. To serve others before self and expect nothing in return. To sacrifice for others in life and expect nothing in return. And to forgive others in life, including myself, and expect nothing in return. For the last 36 years of my life, I've been indeed doing what I always hoped to do, coach. Just not baseball, but life. I've coached my family. I've also coached thousands of others in my 36-year career, and I hope today to give you a little bit of coaching as well. My coaching playbook, it's always the same, regardless if I'm at home or in the workplace, anywhere. Serve others, sacrifice for others, forgive others, and expect nothing in return. If you do, it'll change your world, and then you can change the world for the better. Which leads us to today. Change the world. I crossed paths with our guest for the first time 25 years ago. He was already a successful pastor and author. At the time, his vision was to train leaders around the world so they could change the world. Big stuff. We became one of his first clients in 1997. At the time, I was building one of Fortune magazine's best places to work in America and one of the top mortgage banking companies in the Southeast. And his fingerprints are on me, and they're on my leadership, and therefore they're on all of those that I've coached. While I was busy building a best place to work, well, he was busy too, writing 85 books that would sell over 40 million copies. His books are read by leaders throughout the world, and he's arguably the voice of our generation on the topic of leadership, relationships, and success. And he's here today to inspire you and to educate you, to ensure you leave your mark and do your part. Change the world.
They change the world through humanness. They change the world through reconciling. And they change the world through learning from their difficult moments, from their crucible moments early on in life. We need more leaders like that today.
Why is it that Amazon invented Amazon and the e-reader, and publishing industry did not even invent the Kindle? Like, it's because they're too busy protecting the old business model. So I think if you go down this route of protectionism, of protecting what we have and staving off change, you are signing your own death warrant. And if it's not your death warrant, your business is going to become way more difficult, and another firm or another that may be completely outside your profession. Remember, iTunes, Netflix, all of these were companies completely outside their own industry. In other words, they couldn't even figure out which one of you it's going to be, because it won't be any of you. It might be a software company that'll completely eviscerate your profession. And so I think to be the one that says, okay, it won't be the way it was. We can't defend the way it was, and we're going to have to imagine, what if we were to invent our industry now, knowing nothing? What would we do? And again, this goes back to the question of why. Well, why did you get into the industry in the first place? Did you get into this profession because your parents told you to and you can make a good living? You're not going to be the innovator. You know? Did you get in this industry because you love math? You know? You're not going to be the innovator. Did you get into this industry, and do you love this industry when you really get to help people re-understand and reimagine how to build an organization? Because when you can understand the language of mathematics, when you can understand the language of a balance sheet, as clearly as you can understand the language of cultural change, it's kind of like that, right? It's the rational and the emotional. And we said it before, which is the numbers are only half a picture of the health of the business. And if you got into this industry to be of service to human beings who are trying to do bigger things for themselves, for their families, for society, through their customers, you might be onto something. So the question is, what value do you offer to the people who buy your product? Now, how would you do that in this new changing day and age? And literally ignore whatever was, because it's irrelevant, because it may or may not survive. The industry, the profession will do fine if you're the ones willing to blow up your own business. But if you're going to protect your business,